One major issue that is very common now in these family law cases that I have a lot of experience in would be these various psychological disorders and personality disorders, specifically narcissism, which is one of the more extreme personality disorders, is affecting these cases on a very pervasive level. And the problem is that most of the clients that come in, they describe to me what's going on with their spouse or with their children, and they're not really sure what it is, and they describe some of the traits, and it's very difficult for them to parent or co-parent or even sometimes exist with an individual who's suffering from a personality disorder like that, because the abuse is very covert. But it's deeply damaging. It has psychological ramifications that can last for much longer than domestic violence or physical abuse, just because it's deeply psychologically penetrating, and it can really last for a long time. In those cases, I think I'm a very good person for somebody to come to, because I have a lot of knowledge and background on these types of personality disorders, and just sort of what the spouse that's dealing with that, with my client, how they should handle the other party. And we have kind of like a list of different things that you can do, and just be really educated on the disorder, and just how you can protect yourself the best. And that comes into play with evidence that you might be collecting, how you should be keeping track of things as far as the children. I mean, children should definitely be seeking some sort of psychological treatment, and make sure that, because they're definitely going to be affected by this narcissistic parenting. And it's interesting, because it's interesting and it's sad, and this tendency of these narcissistic parents and the damage that is done to the child. And no one really even is aware of what's going on, and what damage that they're doing to their child, and the child doesn't obviously know. And then it's just this repeat cycle that's occurring, that I'm seeing a lot with today's parenting and with these minor children, and it's just an epidemic, really. So that is something that I believe I have a lot of expertise and knowledge on, and it really does come into play a lot in these cases. So we'd be able to help you with that. I would say that these types of extreme personality disorders, which are called cluster B personality disorders, it includes narcissism, borderline personalities, histrionic personality disorders, antisocial personality disorders, essentially individuals who, again, they can be very callous, cold, calculating, with no empathy, and sort of have like a split personality element going on with them. Usually it's not noticeable at first. There's a lot of charming and excessive love bombing that goes on to sort of dupe the other party, and then slowly over time, it could be quick, particularly after marriage. I've seen a lot of clients say that their partner just shifted so quickly after the marriage. And it could take longer until this kind of covert behavior or clandestine behavior is discovered. But once it is, it doesn't really matter what kind of a family law issue or domestic relations issue that you're facing. It could just be a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you could be married, or you have a child with this person, regardless, or if there's no children, you could just be married to the person. Regardless of any of those, really just if you are in any sort of relationship with an individual who exhibits these types of behaviors, likely you are a caretaker or a nurturer or a very extremely empathetic person, and you just want to help them, and you want to, just do whatever it takes to fix the issue or fix them. I definitely recommend calling me, because we'll be able to help you in any of these capacities. There's a lot of things that legally should be done when dealing with an individual like this to protect yourself, such as injunctions. You want to be able to get certain things on the court record. So we'll be able to give you advice with respect to how you should be collecting evidence and what you should be doing to protect yourself in a case like this, because you're going to be dealing with a person who can really be cunning and even sadistic at times. So you really need to know what to look out for and how to protect yourself. Certainly there's a litany of red flags that you should be looking for. So if you see, 3 or 4 of these red flags, I could probably determine whether the person has this kind of personality disorder. And typically the personality disorder, it's very predictable, and there's just some sort of hallmark traits that are exhibited: grandiosity, something called love bombing, where the person just is excessively portraying these acts of love, whether it's with romantic gestures that typically will want to be all over social media. It will be things that want to be broadcasted. So it's not going to be romantic gestures in a quiet dinner at home. It'll be something that's, publicly displayed. Excessive phone calls or communications, a lot of hypervigilance with regard to, who are you talking to all the time? A lot of questioning, a lot of, just kind of paranoid behavior. That's another one. I mean, there's more, but just to name a few. If you are experiencing some of these behaviors, and you might want to just explain them away or just ignore your gut, because typically the gut will be invoked because it just seems a little bit off, and it seems maybe it's too good to be true, or you may think that, oh, well, I never knew somebody could be so loving or so charming, or, why me? That's typically what victims tell me later that they experienced. Think about it and talk to somebody who's very experienced in this to see if it is, something that you should be concerned about. Because typically, if your gut is telling you something's not right, listen to it. Come in, give me a call, talk to me, and I can definitely guide you through this and at least let you know what these things mean. What is psychological manipulation? What is emotional manipulation? Because it's pretty clearly defined, and if you would explain to me some of the behaviors that you see on a pattern basis, I can certainly let you know what I think and how that's going to affect your case. And it's very important that you seek treatment and your children seek treatment for this type of abuse. So please give me a call at 407-476-3437. Or again, you can visit my website at www.fiercelaw.com, and your consultation would be free. And this is one of my areas of passion, so I would really love to talk to you about this and see if I can help you.